The narrow junction between Lake of the Woods and Shoal Lake also provides drinking water for the city of Winnipeg. In recent days, a group from Shoal Lake 39 First Nation has set up camp at the junction, saying they're willing to stop the flow of water in order to protect their traditional way of life.
Winnipeg government, has continually ignored our leadership, our chief and councils that have been, arguing the fact that the flooding of our lands have been, continued to be ignored over the past 4 to 5 years in courts. Our leaders have been trying to acknowledge the fact that the IJC, they wanted to go ahead. I'm nervous now. I had everything that I had ready to say, but I guess the real reason is this, because we're doing this because of the flooding of our lands, and we're us young people out here, we're starting to regain the knowledge of our history and the teachings out here. And since we've been out here, we've been learning the ways of our culture that have been lost, and and learning the history of Ash Rapids, of how it affected our lands by the flooding. And the Ash Rapids itself, it started way back in like 1908, when Winnipeg asked them, a lumbering company from Kenora, they gave them authorization to come blast open the Ash Rapids, because, well, without the consent of Shoal Lake 39 people, the Anishinaabe people of this land, and since that happened, Winnipeg set up their aqueduct for the taking of our water, and ever since the aqueduct has been running, our wild rice, our fisheries have been lost. We lost over 95% of our fisheries since the Winnipeg opened its aqueduct, and all our wild rice, we can't even really harvest it no more, because all of it's been gone due to land erosion because of the floodings.
So you talk about a stance, and your letter talks about actually blocking the rapids. Is that something that you have in mind then, is actually blocking the rapids, or? Well,
the blocking of Ash Rapids is actually just us trying to repair our own lake, because of it's being contaminated, and it's becoming, we don't even have authorization to drink our own water now. We get our water from our stream. And,
okay. So are you actually going to fill in that part then?
Yeah, we plan to block it off completely, so we can take the time to start repairing our lake to clean out the water.
Do you have an idea of when that might actually happen?
Soon.
Okay. Have you had any conversations with the City of Winnipeg or the Province of Manitoba?
There has been a lot of conversations with the City of Winnipeg, the provincial governments of both Ontario, Manitoba, and the federal government. But our leadership has been ignored in the past, and there hasn't been any communication whatsoever with all levels of government and our leadership. So the people of Iskatez-Agigan number 39 took it into their own hands. So it's a collective group of women, men, children, and elders, and all of our roots begin here in the traditional territory of Shoal Lake Iskatez-Agigan Independent First Nation number 39. So we have come together with the common goal of conveying relief to our community and to improve our opportunities and outcomes for the advancement of our nation by taking a stance against the historical and continued injustices pertaining to our water quality and quantity. So when you look at Ash Rapids, there's a north side there and there's a south end here. A long time ago, according to our elders, that this channel here was man-made, explosive dynamite was used to actually open up this channel for the water to flow into Shoal Lake, for the intake to take water to the city of Winnipeg. So when you look at this ash rapids, this was man-made, it's not natural. So when you look at the water right now, the water should be going inwards, but it's coming outwards. So that's a huge indication that Shoal Lake has, the waters are very high, and that the waters have to remain high in order for that intake to take the water. But what's happening is that when there's high levels of water like that, it affects our wild rice, it affects our fisheries, it also affects our lands, and it affects our lifestyles, our livelihood, because a lot of our people live off of the land, and we continue to live off of the land. And that is also being ignored. And there's a strong connection that our people have with the land, with the water, with everything that's around. It is our duties, our responsibilities as living this traditional way of life, that we're the protectors of the land and the water, that we have to live off of these things. You know, you take what, in order to survive, you take what you need, but you also have to give back. And we're just here, we're protecting our waters. And so blocking ash rapids for us is repairing our lake at the same time. And as well as, when you think about it, the city of Winnipeg has been using our water for over 127 years. So the city of Winnipeg diverts 100 millions of gallons of water from our lake daily, without any care or consideration that this diversion has a negative impact, like what I said, on our lives, our livelihoods, and the quality of our water. So we all greatly feel that the city of Winnipeg has been given a considerable amount of time to respond to our leadership, and more importantly to our people. And so us being originally, our roots are tied into Iskatehzagigan First Nation number 39. So we feel that it's our way of, like I said, conveying relief to our community. So as the city of Winnipeg and its residents continue to use our water for domestic and sewer usage only, and at no charge, the city of Winnipeg has made a commodity of our water, and only the city of Winnipeg benefits immensely. So while the city of Winnipeg is benefiting from our water, the Anishinaabe people of Shoal Lake continue to live in impoverished living conditions, which I believe is not fair. How can somebody make a commodity off of our water when that's the water is something that we live off of? And they know that compensation is due to our community, but they refuse to even negotiate anything with our leadership. And so that's why it's taken us grassroots people to make that difference.
And it's actually the first oath that Winnipeg took before they began construction of Winnipeg's aqueduct. That their first oath is that to all private properties whose lands are injured or affected by the flooding for Winnipeg's aqueduct, compensation must be paid in full. That's actually the first oath that they took to the Dominion government of Canada before they even had to start.
So can I ask what kind of compensation you'd be looking for?
The flooding of the sheets of land that are flooded, the sheets of land that are underwater.
Oh, so you want the return of the land?
It's not the return of the land. It's just, due to the flooding, the land erosion, it caused
negative impacts.
Well, it caused the soil. The soil cannot grow wild rice no more. And because of that, we can't harvest wild rice really, only in some very little parts, but even then it used to grow all around these shorelines.
Yeah.
And for the past 100 years, it's all been gone now.
I guess I'm wondering if there's something that people from the city of Winnipeg or the province of Manitoba might offer in order to get you to reconsider your blocking of the rapids.
Well, that's the problem. They keep ignoring us, ignoring our new leadership. That's the reason why it's come down to the people taking action ourselves. we're not here. We're here for our people, all of us. We're not doing this because we're angry. It's just, we're doing this because we're tired of waiting, and just really, you know, enough's enough, really.
Okay. There's as you may know, there's a big fishing tournament this weekend. Is it going to impede the progress of those fishermen? Do you know?
Well, if they plan to come into here, that's not going there. We're blocking it, and we're going to start letting boaters know before they even come into here.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to say before?
I just want to make it clear that there's a balancement between our women and our men. We all have our traditional responsibilities to the land and to the water, and that is why there's men and women gathered here, because it's balancement. There's a traditional teaching that the eagle flies with two wings. One wing is for the women and one wing is for the men, and that's to balance out. So if the eagle was missing a wing, if it was missing the responsibility, the responsibility of the men, then that eagle would not fly without a wing, right? And so that goes to the same with the men having one wing, and then the women, you know, if that was missing, then the men wouldn't be able to soar. So in order for anything to happen here, it takes both men and women to be together, to be balanced, and that's the only way that eagle's gonna fly. So that's the way we look at it here. Although it's us women that have taken upon ourselves to block these rapids, because we're doing this for our children. We're doing it for my mom's here, her grandchildren. You know, everybody's here. We're mothers, we're grandmothers here, and we're doing this for the future of our children. You know, there's still many generations to come. And what's going to happen in the future when this water is, you know, it's going to be polluted. It's just not going to be able, you're not going to be able to drink it. And so that's what we need.
Help the women do what they need to do out here. And we're all prepared to do whatever it takes to protect them and you know, do whatever's right and peacefully.
Yeah, and
well,
this is a peaceful stance.
I mean, you may get some people objecting. Are you prepared to?
Of course, there's always going to be objectors.
I mean, there is the possibility of violence here.
The only violence where it's going to be coming from is if people come here and fight us. But we're unarmed, and we're not here to fight anyone. We're just here to, you know, be acknowledged as people of Shoal Lake. Because it's, you know, it's tired. You know, we've been ignored long enough. For over 2 years, our leaders been ignored through the courts, through the Winnipeg government, because they want to look into the historical facts, but the only historical facts that they can get is from what we give them, from our stories and from our teachings out here.
Okay. Under the past chief, there was some talk of compensation and, you know, for the sale of the water, and there was some talk about $120-something million a year.
The $124 million year deal was actually presented to Winnipeg government through the Ontario government. It was them that proposed that deal to the Winnipeg government, and our chief actually agreed to that deal, but it was the mayor of Winnipeg did not agree to that deal. And in fact, there is a news article saying that he said that there will be no check in the mail, and that would be, you know, and that's going against their own oath that they took before they opened that aqueduct. As I just stated, that the oath that the compensation must be paid in full for whoever private lands are affected by the flooding of their aqueduct.
Okay. From Ash Rapids, I'm Mike Aiken for KenoraOnline.com.